Okay, hello everyone. It seems like it's only just 5 minutes ago that we finished the previous panel, but here we are, and I have to say I'm a little bit more relaxed now because I'm quite clearly now the best looking man on this stage. Phew, that's a great relief. But I have some wonderful, wonderful actresses here with me. So we're gonna start with this panel here. And I do apologize if some of this seems like you've heard it all before, because I'm gonna ask you some of the very same questions I asked the boys. Give us a sense of the state of your industry right now. You know, what kind of roles do you see yourselves playing? What kind of roles and what kind of genres are quite popular right now? Would anyone like to start? Would anyone like to?
Well, I think.
So this is like the UN. You got to press a button if you want to speak. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right. Yeah, I think for the Malaysian industry, I think we're doing pretty well, right? With Azira and Saleha and here, more genres coming in.
More dramas.
More genres, like more variety of genres, like
more different genres. I heard dramas. What kind of genres are coming in?
Well, I think that usually, like in Malaysia, the television is always filled with more of rom-coms. That's the standard thing, you know. But right now, with we have Netflix, we have everything, the online, the online platforms. A lot more of new ideas and new different storylines, and more characters are there. Yeah.
And I think Malaysians love horror movies.
Yeah, horror.
Horror is
horror is like our.
I mean, even in Singapore, one of the highest rated podcasts in Singapore is Malay horror.
Really?
You know, yeah, exactly. So
Wow.
horror just always sticks with you. Please.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you got to press the button.
Yes. Hi. First of all, thank you so much. My name is Rajshri. I'm from India. And as the question Marcus has just asked, I feel that industry is always in flux. As the pandemic arose, many things have changed. Stories have changed. Life has changed. And I see that there is a lot of difference in storytelling. There is a lot of difference in our filmmaking. So as I speak from India, because of pandemic, the kind of work, the kind of films and shows we used to make is now completely different. It used to be like a high budget films initially, but because of the world of OTT has opened up, and because of pandemic, when everyone was at home, they started consuming a lot of content. And the content which was like, previously Narcos or even a content from all over the world, everyone started watching that. So the people who were at home consuming that content, their expectation from the content changed. So when we had a cinema where the macho man, saying ki mard ko dard nahi hota, man doesn't have pain and all that thing has changed. People started watching content which is more sensitive, which is more relatable. They want to see the women, the men, the LGBTQI community the way they are. There is no filter on them. They have pores, they have wrinkles. So expectation from the normal audience has changed, so cinema changed. But yeah, it's a cycle, the pandemic is over and the macho man is back. So we are, as artists, we are trying to portray more and more realistic people, genres and stories from all over the world, which is more real, relatable, and sensitive. And we are trying our best to be there in the world of filters.
I mean, just to, before I ask the rest to contribute, just want to go deeper into this, because you played, maybe you want to explain, introduce the role that you played and the series it was based on. And then the question I have for you then is, could this story have been done before the streamers came to India?
Oh, yeah. So the show, which is on Netflix called Trial by Fire, this show is based on a book written by Neelam Krishnamurthy and Shekhar Krishnamurthy. This is based on, in 1997, there was a fire in a cinema hall in a city called Delhi, and 59 people died. So it was because of the negligence of the cinema hall owner and greed of the rich and powerful people over there. But those 59 people died. Two kids belonged to Neelam and Shekhar Krishnamurthy. So Neelam started investigating that what exactly went wrong. Because what happens when we have a tragedy like this happens, either we grieve, and we move on. But there are some people who wants to know what exactly happened. So Neelam started investigating, and it happened in 1997, and till today, she's fighting the case. So this is a story of this parent who is fighting a court case from past 25 years. But it's not just for their children now, it's for the whole world where fire and safety rules and regulation has been taken for granted. So they want things to change. So I'm playing Neelam Krishnamurthy in this.
And so to go to your point about, could these stories have been told?
Oh yeah, it was very difficult, very, very difficult. Because of course, as I told you, the cinema, or we all think cinema as an entertainer. We all think that we want to just leave our worries aside and we just want joy, or we just want, like laughter, or we just want to, woot or dance. But there was a cinema, or there is still a cinema, which makes you feel vulnerable. So the show, which is, it's not that easy show. Of course, it's based on a tragedy, but it's a show about courage. It's an important show where every human being should take courage from that. In case if something happens with us, with anyone, one should stand up. But I don't think so without having a support of Netflix or any other streaming platform. Such shows can exist because people think that cinema is just an entertainer. If a hero enters or a heroine enters, then people should clap for them, or people should know them, because that's what been portrayed, the whole filter thing. So I'm glad that OTT online streaming platform has exist now for all of us, for people, normal people like us, who believe on craft, believe in creating something for people.
Thank you very much for that. And I think also, obviously, once you sort of slightly break the back of the monopolies, your streamers aren't beholden to certain structural, for example, the person who was indicted in this fire was a massive cinema chain owner.
Yeah, I know. But that's what, I feel that I'm glad that people are taking that kind of courage, like streaming platforms. And we should, right? We should talk about everything, what's happening in the world. We should speak up, because what's the point of being a creative person if you're not showing our what is actually happening?
And just going back to Pang and
Hi, my name is Chiyomin. Actually, I'm Korean, but I'm representing Singapore today. So actually, I don't know.
Everyone gets involved in Singapore.
Yes. Actually, I don't know much about the Singapore industry yet. So maybe I can give you some Korean one today, because I have a lot of friends in Korean industry. So in last 1 year, I've heard a lot from my friends that most of network wants to make romantic comedy only. Before COVID, we had a lot of different genres, like a horror, crime and even fantasy. We don't have a hero, but we have a lot of different genres. But ever since the corona pandemic, from all over the world, Korean romantic comedy is quite popular. Like, I bet you heard about the business. Yeah, business proposal and Kindle, and it's all romantic comedies, so which means network and OTT can sell with a higher price to all over the world. So in last 1 year, they only want to pick up the romantic comedy drama. So every production just preparing only romantic comedy. You cannot see any horror crime, and then with a higher budget, like a third rate different genre. That is Korean state at the moment. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for giving us that little snapshot. Although the problem, of course, is next year when everyone's flooded the market of romantic comedies, if you're the one who has a crime drama in the pocket, you can sell that. Wonderful. And Pam, what about you? What do you think?
Hello, my name is Yaung Chel, and I'm from Myanmar. And currently, I have a sore throat, so please excuse my voice cracking up a bit. In Myanmar, I would say that right now, the production of series are rapidly growing. Before, a few years back, people weren't really interested in watching television series. They were quite popular, but films were more popular, going to the cinemas and watching the film on the big screens. But now the number of series that are getting produced are rapidly growing, and people are more keen to watch content at home on TV, on their television. So the series production is rapidly growing, and genre-wise, I would say recently what's very popular in Myanmar is series that are based on marriage stories where the conflict between the husband and the wife and solving that and so on, etc. But I think that phase has moved, and now I think the trend is moving elsewhere. But recently for Myanmar, that was I guess the most popular genre would be drama. I think romance drama. Yeah.
I'm going to come back. I'm going to have to come back on that one, but maybe I want to hear from Siti.
Hello, I'm Siti Saleha from Malaysia. Lovely to be here. So I've been acting for quite some time. I think Zaqyah and I started off at the same time. So we were both doing TV for a long time. So obviously there is a shift. I can see there is a change, a difference. But of course, playing TV, sometimes it does get quite repetitive. And I'm not saying that all TV are like this. It is slowly changing. You can see different contents, but with the presence of OTT, I think we as actors are quite thankful because the contents that are being produced are much diverse and very enjoyable to play. And especially this year, I acted in quite a few roles that are more driven by women, like women driving the narrative. So I think that's the change that I see with the trend. And that's great because we want to have more female roles that just driving the narrative. And yeah, that's what I see.
Well, I think I would have a follow-up question for both you and Tiz as well, actually, for that matter, because you've both been in the industry, despite looking younger than my niece. You guys have been in the industry for a pretty long time, since 2008 and 2006, if I'm not wrong, thereabouts. So I'm kind of interested because you two, the characters that you played in your nominated roles. You played a victim of sexual assault or rape as well, and you played a really a bit different, but realistically the same thing because you played a practitioner of black magic. But ultimately, these two characters are female characters who have to fight to get their side of the story told. Ultimately, So, do you find that your experiences as actresses, especially in earlier days where you maybe didn't have the power that you have now to drive certain narratives, did you use that to inform on your performances, having to fight to get your stories told?
Okay, throughout the years, I think I've had a few characters which few rape victims I played before, but the story did not emphasize.
Which is another problem for me, but we'll get to that later, I think.
Sorry, yeah. So, but it wasn't emphasized throughout the whole story. It was just one episode, or she got raped by her father, and then it turned into like a love story. So it was forgotten, like just like that. And I think in Malaysia also the movies. I mean, the novels. Most of our what's on TV right now, it's based on books, and everything is just based on female fantasies. But I don't know. But somehow those characters play. I mean, that has been around. These are women who accept the rapist. And I think right after the pandemic, which I got this role, Lara, I think one of the only roles in Malaysia who actually fought for for herself. And it's really empowering, of course, as a woman for me to speak throughout the drama itself as a language, tell women that we can actually voice out, and it's not about love, it's not about what we've been educating the audience before this. Yeah, just like what she said. We are now there's no more filter because of the OTT, the platforms we have right now. We're able to express more politically every issue. We can just tackle it, and then there's no censorship. Sometimes I have to say of course there's no such censorship, right? Compared to the local censorship, when there's a lot of things that we cannot actually show on TV. It's like
maybe you can international audience, so it might be interesting for people to understand.
Yeah. So
what can you show on OTT that you can't show on, say, TV or RTM?
Sexual assault issues. Yeah, especially that, I think, for now. Yeah, it's quite sensitive. It's a taboo to talk about it. But it's funny that these roles, every day we have victims, or just it could be one of us, anyone could be a victim of sexual assault, but you don't see them more on TV, like how you read it in the news. People just don't want to. Okay, so the first time I did a role, I played this, I got raped by my father. And we immediately got like reports in the papers. People were reporting, oh, this is too much, this is too sensitive, you shouldn't show this. But people were not accepting, the audience couldn't accept it yet. They were just fed by rom-coms. It was just strictly rom-coms and all the fantasies and everything. Life is so pretty, but we actually failed to educate the audience what's really happening. So yeah, I'm really thankful that I got this role. Yep.
I would like to add into this. So I always feel that all the creative aspect is like seasons. There is a monsoon season. There is, because every season, every political season, everything, whatever is happening in the world, our cinema, our stories are changing with that. Even as we are talking about the censorship, when, as I told you about the blockbuster, the rom-com, the comedy and everything, which most of the time works in the theatrical space, everyone thinks that, okay, whatever is serious, whatever, about the relatable social subjects, put them in the online streaming platforms. So where you can always deal with such subjects. So like in India, of course, censorship also works like seasons. Sometimes you just pass through something, and sometimes you really have to fight for really, really small things. Because most of my films, which has gone to Toronto Film Festival, to Rotterdam, to Cannes, to Busan, to Bifan, to so many film festivals, have gone through the knife in India. Most of my online streaming platform shows, which is number one, like Sacred Games, then now trial by fire. Of course, trial by fire didn't have to go through, but secret games had to go through a different kind of space. So yeah, sometimes I don't understand the censorship space at all, because they censor something which is so important, and they don't censor something which should be censored.
Such as? Well, what shouldn't be censored?
No, censor.
That is being censored right now.
See,
sorry, the other way around. What isn't censored should be censored.
No, because I feel, censoring something where you're degrading a woman in a very different way. You're showing violence because you're showing violence and you're making someone heroic with that. So I feel that kind of a thing has to be censored. That has to go through an understanding that why it is there. Are you kind of trying to titillate someone with something? Because you have to understand what kind of a woman gaze you're portraying. There are some scenes where normal nudity doesn't harm you, but there is like how you're using your camera. Even a woman with fully clothed can be portrayed in a very wrong way if your camera has a very wrong gaze. So why are you doing that? Do you want to just, like, as I said, tokenism kind of a space, or do you want to titillate people with that? That needs to understood very well. So that's why, I think the team who's working on it, everyone needs to understand the society. Everyone needs to educate about the craft. Everyone needs to understand, why, what is happening.
That's a good answer, because it kind of leads into my next question, which is, if you look at the roles that some of the actors were nominated for as well, and the roles here, a lot of the drama revolves around violence to women and violence against women's bodies. Sorry. You portrayed the best prostitute in Singapore in in pre-war Singapore. So where does it go from being just drama and conflict to being exploitation? I mean, yeah, I'm sorry, we've just only brought down the atmosphere completely. Don't worry, I'll get to my comedy questions after this.
Oh my God!
I think it's quite important, because this is a question that I asked last year's panel as well. How often have you guys gotten roles in which women are victims, and particularly big victims of bodily harm? And does that have to change? And do we have enough female script writers and female directors to do that? Maybe anyone here wants to chime in on that?
Yeah. And anyone? So yeah. See? No. Of course, we are normal human beings. We are artists. We are part of the society, and we should be getting played different parts. But unfortunately, what happens, it's a commerce, it's a mathematics a lot of times, and people put you in boxes. And we as an artist trying to break that box, that, okay, we are this, we are that. We cannot be bound with something like that. That's what I see it. So I do very less work, but I make sure that what I had done before, that should not reflect to my next work. Because if I'm not doing a variety of work, then I'm not doing justice being an artist. So I want to be portrayed something else. So I don't mind not driving a Mercedes Benz or wearing something like a Gucci or Prada, but I want fucking great roles.
Well, what about the rest? Tell me, and it's a great way to try and understand the actor's life, especially the actress's life. Any frustrations you might have with roles that you've seen or people ask you to play in years past.
Yeah, well, you have to agree, it's a man-dominated industry.
No, really? No.
I heard it so many times. Well, I think with now people are starting to see and understand, it's not about men and women, it's about equality, it's about how you want to justify something right and how you want to fight for a certain topic which has been a sensitive taboo issue you cannot even touch. You can't even talk about it. So I think right now with the OTT, I think people are more, like I said, there's so many things to explore. There's so many things that we haven't even like shown.
I mean, on this side of the panel, we have a sexual assault victim, another sexual assault victim, if I'm not wrong as well, right? Was she?
Oh, not for Wang Yi. No.
No, not
in
for
this,
Wang Yi.
In this series, she's a badass. To whoever watched it yet, spoiler alert, but yeah, she kicks ass in the end. Nice. So that's one of the reasons why I enjoyed this project so much. And yes, having to play with black magic, which I have no idea about. So the research was really fun. But yeah, Wang Yi is a character. I mean, to begin with, she starts off very vulnerable, very innocent, and then she just switched. And I love characters like that. So having talked about sexual exploitation and all, like I think we all, they say in Asia, like if you haven't graduated from actually doing a rape scene, that means you're not an actor yet.
Oh,
don't take my word for it. Yeah, but it's like
awful. That is absolutely awful.
Yeah. So I have played characters like that, and just one time. So that's why I'm saying it's frustrating to having received the same rules that still has that until today, but not many. But that's why I fight for women empowerment series that are more focusing on women, and let's just block all of that and just talk about real women's situations and stories. Yes.
But your character, I mean, again, spoiler alert, but your character Wanji,
okay, it's out.
We do delve into her backstory as well, why she became what she became. Isn't that right? And isn't that also, there was a lot of we're going back to the same old tropes as well in terms of
right.
why she became what she became.
Yes.
And Pan, you were in Grieving Mo. Tell us what happens to Mo.
What happens to Mo? Right. It starts off with her being lost, but since it's been out for a long time, she actually died. She was having an argument with her husband, but she ended up actually killing herself while they were having the argument. And it was that she got into the marriage. She's quite young. They're both quite young. She got into the marriage without knowing that he had a wife before, and they weren't divorced yet. And Mo, being the girl that she's all about virtues, and she wants to be she's very independent. She loves him a lot, but she can't accept this. She even tried to negotiate with the first wife, but when she said, there's no way I'm going to divorce him, not because I want him, just because she wants to hold on to him. And then she decided the right thing to do is to ask for a divorce from him. But then she ended up being locked in the house by him, and they had many fights and arguments. And one day they ended up having a huge fight, and then she ended up shooting herself on the neck. So that's how she died. But then he went to the police saying that, oh, my wife is lost. Can you help me find it? So that's the general story. But I was also, after the series came out, I was also offered very similar roles for quite a few, maybe 4 or 5 series. They came to me, and whenever I read the script, it was like the husband cheating, and then the wife trying to solve that and then go after it and so on. And I'm like, I keep politely declining the roles, and I'm thinking I'm going to be jobless this year because because I keep rejecting the roles. But I just didn't want to do the same thing over again. Not that I have a problem with playing a role like that again in the future, but not next to each other. So I thought, I'm just going to wait until there's a role that I really want to go for it. And luckily, I got another role. So Mo is my second role. And the third one I did is also, I think it's going to be quite, might become, I don't know, a bit sensitive, or might have to go through some stuff with censorship in my country as well, because I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but it's not out yet. But it's got a topic that's quite sensitive to our country as well, and yeah, but it's also a role where we can see the power of girls, and yeah, so I luckily I got that role, and now I'm doing my fourth series. I have very limited experience on my fourth series as well. This one is also, I guess, a rom-com. This one's more the current one I'm doing right now is very lighthearted. So yeah. Yeah.
I mean, so again, I think if we're just to sum up this part of the discussion is, we need to start writing more roles for women in which the characters are not defined by their relationship to men.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Azira, your character got left at the altar by a man. So tell us about that.
Okay, so for my role, I was playing for Ijab Kabut. Actually, she wanted to get married, but she got dumped just right before, I think it was 6 months before. So she have like this competitive with the cousin, and she doesn't want to back down, so she had to find a husband in 6 months. So it doesn't matter whoever. So she did an audition to find it's quite like a lighthearted.
Thank God for that.
Yeah,
we needed a bit more
not
lighthearted.
like everyone else is like so intense. Mine is a bit, I think, quite easy, but it's kind of fun because this is my first time I'm taking like a comedy role. But how to say, like people keep on asking me like, how do I do it? I just think like the storyline helps a lot.
You just preempted my question. I was going to say, how do you do it? But,
Yeah.
well, the thing about comedy, and I love comedy because it's much high wire act than say drama, for example. Because drama, you can take your time, you can let it work for you.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a litmus test in comedy, and that is laughter. People are not laughing, especially on set. If people are watching you film it. Yeah. How do you deal with that pressure as an actress?
It is. I think it's a bit tough for me because I'm not a comedian. But thank God, like I said earlier, for the script, the storyline is quite good, and I do have like a very awesome team of productions that help, as well as the cast. So we kind of like talk to each other, like how can we make this scene be funny. So yeah, thank God for that. And at the same time, I think I just interpret it in my own way. I don't want to try hard because I don't want to kill it because I'm not a comedian. But yeah, but thank God I got like a very good feedback from people that they really like the show.
That's good. That's good. I mean, we need way more comedy in everyday life. So it's not just romantic comedy. Again, remember, let's not define our female characters by the relationship to men. Sorry. Gio, sorry. I keep putting an N, but it shouldn't be. Gio, you had quite a career in Korea, and then you I wouldn't say retired because you're far too young to be retired, but you were less active in the acting profession. Because you came with your family to Singapore. So it's quite interesting because there's the dual pressures here. It's the pressure of language. It's also the pressure of having not acted for a while. So how did that process work for you when you're on set for The Last Madame?
So first of all, actually, I never mentioned myself that I retired. I wanted to.
That's why I never mentioned it too.
I just took the time for like being mom and being wife for the last 10 years. And then when I'm actually, I grew up and lived for my whole life in Korea until I'm 34. And then when I moved to Singapore, follow my husband, I didn't speak English at all. So I couldn't actually pursue my job. I couldn't find the job here in Singapore. And over the time, back then, 10 years ago, I have an infant baby, so I didn't have much time to learn English. But first I got being a mom is so fulfilling, and then I'm really happy to have having a family here. but always feel like I want to do something. I want to act, something like that. So actually, I made my acting YouTube channel. It's not like it's for myself. I write the script by myself, and then I put the camera there and then lighting there. I edit it from A to Z. I did everything by myself and then put on my YouTube channel, like YouTube channel. And then I got to know this amazing showrunner, who is Jane from Walker Pictures. I got to know her, and then I sent out the YouTube
CDO, right?
Yeah, reel, and then she liked it. So I got a chance to audition to a third role actually, but I'm here for my husband, right? So I'm a DP holder, dependent pass holder. So on the COVID, I couldn't work. It was illegal. So I couldn't get the chance to play in the third role. But yeah, I ended up, I was up here for 2 scenes. So I just took the time off. I retired. So I just tried to do something, show my this eager to do act. And then I just tried to prepare the one day, maybe if I don't prepare myself, even though there's the opportunity is coming, I cannot get it. So at home, at least 1 hour and 2 hours, I just follow other actors in Korea and Singapore in English, and in Korea, I just try to read it, try to act myself, watching the showing mirror myself. And then I think it paid off.
and how did the process of, how did the production process differ from your experiences in K-drama in Korea?
Oh, so okay, back 10 years ago when I left Korea,
I want to hear the juicy stories, by the way.
It was not same as it is now in Korea. The budget of the production, the scale of the production was much smaller. And there's what is that called? The limited time in Korea. You can work like more than 52 hours a week as a staff and no actor. So back then there's no any that law. So we have if it's a 16 episode before on air, you only shoot 2 episodes. And then on air, it's like we call it live show, live drama.
So you're 2 weeks behind in your production process.
Yes,
your broadcast.
Only 2 weeks, 2 episodes, something like that. So you have to follow the whole the episode, right? So you don't have time to sleep. You just after you finish this today, and then you just go to a shop and then get changed, your makeup and hair done, and it's like in the car 1 or 2 hours, and then you straight go to a film the locations on set. But now you cannot do that. So they protect actors and the staffs as well. So money changes a lot of things in Korea. So sometimes I felt jealous, but I was happy. Back then working in Korea as an actor. So,
but I guess in Singapore it's a little bit different as well, because we have some protection for long working hours, don't we?
I don't see.
You don't see it.
Any protection for that?
Is Jean over here somewhere? Is Jean here? Is that why?
But there's my director Rowan over there.
Okay.
I really appreciate all the hard work. But scale, of course, scale compared to Korean production, scale is a difference. But the atmosphere on set, the relationship with the staff and other actors, your coworkers, it's all pretty similar. Yeah.
Right. Well, it's good to know, at least, so people here get a sense of what the environment is in Asia. We are coming close to the end, so I think rather than finishing off the other questions I had, shall we go to Bernard Pivot's questionnaire? I think everyone kind of liked that. Before we then open it up to 1 or 2 questions, okay? So I'm going to just, at random, give you guys the questions, 2 each. Gio, what is your favorite word?
You can do it. A word, like a sentence. Can.
Can. What is your least favorite word?
Cannot.
I was gonna say. Okay. Rajshri, what is your favorite fictional hero?
Thank God it was off. Yeah, fictional hero. I would like to be the hero of my fictional space.
Okay, very. And then the two questions: what is your least favorite? What is your favorite fictional villain?
Villain.
Yeah.
There are many. The violence.
Violence.
The people who follow negativity and violence spaces.
Okay. Okay. All right. Azira, what turns you on creatively?
You know, this peppy question I should have answered actually. Why only serious? Like.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. Creatively. Can I answer this?
What makes you excited?
A lot of things though. But I think one thing I would say dancing.
Dancing.
Yeah, because I used to be a dancer before I became a singer and actress. Yeah.
And then what turns you off?
Turns me off. I think I hate it when I get humiliated in front of people.
I hope that's not what we're feeling now.
Not now, but I experienced it before when I
acting.
Yeah.
But of course that's sometimes it's part and parcel of being an actor, isn't it? To accept these negative emotions.
Yeah, but I think during that time I was probably new, so just want to clear this off. Not like it's like very normal in Malaysia.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is quite simple. What sound or noise do you love?
Oh, do I love sound? Music? Can I say music?
Yeah, sure. What kind of music?
I love all kinds of music. I listen to all genres. Mainly, I don't really have a favorite. It would just depend on the song. Mainly, I listen to pop and R&B. So.
And then, what sound or noise do you hate?
People yelling. I guess people just yelling and shouting and arguments. I guess I hate that.
Very good, very good. Tiz, what profession would you like to attempt that's not your own?
Okay, before that, I have forgot to introduce myself. Just I'm Zaqyah.
It's okay. We've got name tags.
Okay. I just had a, okay. Hi. Anyway, what would I?
Yeah.
If I weren't acting, right?
If you weren't acting.
Probably want to be an architect. That's my
architect.
Yeah. I love drawings. So.
It's like creative, but you can still make money.
Yeah, I need to build my own studio, man.
Think about how many rom-coms set in New York City have the lead character as an architect. Right?
Exactly. Yeah, I heard about that too.
And what other profession would you not want to attempt?
Anything? Oh my God. I just don't want to be in an office 9 to 5. No, I'm not that person.
That's true. That's perfectly understandable. Wonderful. And Siti, what is your favorite curse word? I'm sorry you got that, but you know what? You can just whisper it to me, or you can just say it. See?
I think to the previous. Yeah, can I say it? Fuck.
Hey, a bit boring though. The boys were also saying, "Oh, fuck's my favorite word." I want something native, I'm not gonna say it.
I'm gonna say it. Oh.
Okay, and last one for you: if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say to you when you reach the pearly gates?
Hello, Siti Saleha.
Wonderful. Thank you all so much. Ladies and gentlemen, your Best Actress nominees for 2023. I'm going to be annoying and just steal. Anyone got a question to ask? We're way out of time, but if anyone's got a burning question, go. Mm.
How young are you?
Sorry, could you repeat your
Well,
question?
it's okay. I'll repeat. Oh, well, you can do it, please.
Me? Okay. Hi, I'm Lindsay. I'm a producer director from Hong Kong. You've both spoken about positive changes in your industries and your countries with more female-driven narratives, which is fantastic. Do you also see positive steps in terms of how young female acting talent is supported, nurtured? I guess from an entry point when you're a teenager or wanting to go into the industry, are those attitudes changing positively as well?
And Lindsay, very good question.
Anyone?
I would say, of course. I mean, we started off like there were no social media, there were no awareness. We couldn't speak about, I think we started out really like those days. Those days, you have no one to. I mean, we hear stories about producers, luring girls and stuff like that. It's not uncommon. But right now, thanks to social media, I think the awareness is there, and I think, of course, the younger generation has that advantage of speaking out. So I don't know. Hopefully, it'll progress into something that we want to achieve as a whole female society. Yeah.
Of course, I do agree with her, but I feel that we still need to nurture, not just in the film industry, but every industry, because there is so much work needs to be done on ground. As a creative space, it's something which we choose to do, because we all come from a space where people think that creativity doesn't pay you anything. If you really, really feel like doing it, be part of it. So, I think we need to work on every level in a very empathetic way. If we are not following that, then it will be very difficult because we all come from every box of life with all kind of traumas to all kind of joyful spaces. So if we don't understand and follow a chain and have a bridge, it will be very difficult. So as I come from India, we are trying to get there, but a lot of time it happens that we take one step and then we have to go 4 steps backward. But then everyone again comes together and again take 2 more steps. So it's a slow process. Like if we are making 100 shows or 100 films, 5 to 10 are women-oriented film, 2 probably LGBTQI plus community work. So we need to kind of buckle up a little more. We need more and more representation from everywhere. So more and more stories like us will be told. And maybe it will be told in a very different way, like not just the survivor. We are, of course, but we can kick asses. I don't know if I can.
Wonderful, thank you.
But yeah, we can do all kind of varied roles if everyone comes together. It's not a single person's fight. We should all think that it's our fight.
Pan, you had something to say?
I do feel like in Myanmar, young female talents are being more nurtured, as you say. For me personally, I have very limited experience so far because I came from a singing background. I debuted as a singer back in 2015, and then I only started acting 2019. So only been in this industry for 4 or 5 years, and I was very blessed to have been offered the very first role I got offered is a leading role where it's very rare in Myanmar to have a female hero character. And I mean, out of all the people that they had many options, they decided to offer me the role, and me being with no experience, but the only thing I had was the passion, and I wanted to really work for it. I felt like it was a huge chance for me. So I do feel like in Myanmar that we are nurturing young talents, female talents as well, more and more. And now too, I say that now that I'm also growing. um, I'm almost 30 now, so I'm 27. So
no, you don't get to complain about how.
So I do see that in Myanmar, and I would say I'm one of the blessed and very lucky person to have been blessed with that too. So yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Anyone else want to add something?
Yeah, maybe I can add because I used to be a dancer before, right? So back then I feel like it's a bit tough for young talents as a dancer to be out there. You have to have a lot of experience. Only then they will like really take you seriously. But right now I do see like a lot of young talents already in the industry, already be in front of the stage, you know. So I think they started to see young talents more, not like before. So I guess, yeah, so now not just in acting world, also in dancing, and as a singer myself also, I'm in a girl group. So previously, 2015, we are the only girl group in Malaysia. So right now, there's a lot of like young talents coming up. So I guess like slowly, like what T said, social media does play a big role in this industry, because only then you can see a lot of talents out there. So yeah.
Let's tell about the Korean industry. I'm from Korea, which is where the idol happened. There's a lot of trainee as a singer and as an actor. So there's a lot of academic for acting and singing. So they are, when they started their career, they are already professional. When you are professional, all the steps, and then everybody, even the audience, respected them. Once they are good at acting, once they are good at dancing and singing. So if you are, it's not about like you're young or old. We are just to treat them like, if you are good at where you are at, then do we respect them. Or if you are not good at that your skill, then we are maybe a little bit, we tend to look down a bit.
But of course, I think just to wrap this up and maybe to answer a little bit about what you're saying, you know, in this part of the world, you know, the rewards are so great for fame and to be, you know, a starlet. And therefore you will always have all these very predatory people coming around and trying to, you know, and being the gatekeepers of an industry, you know. And the question is, what can we do to solve that? Legislation, blacklist. I like the fact that you said that because of TikTok and because of social media, they have their own voices. They can basically call people out, you know.
But you know, I always feel that technology is like a weapon. It depends how you're using it. You know, you can save someone or you can destroy someone. Like even having all kind of social media, the kind of, you know, the young girls are going through, even because of the filters, because of how you can change and manipulate certain things. So it does affect. And then there are people who are motivating and, you know, influencing people in a very good way. So it is that kind of weapon. So one has to be really, 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 that's the reason the education has to be everywhere. You know, that, you know, what kind of content, how much content to be consumed, how much you're part of the society, how much you look around and be with people. Then only you will understand, you know, what is life.
Thank you very much, Lindsay. Lindsay, is that right, for your question? And with one question, we've actually gone 10 minutes out of overtime. But thank you all so much. Thank you all for being here. And please, another round of applause for the actresses on this panel.
But you know, it's an actresses panel. It should go overboard. Let's give us all time.
Thank you so much once again. Thank you.